What's going down, everyone? And welcome back to another edition of John Ammel's Archives, a special off-season edition where officially this will probably be my last video before I roll out my new format. I do owe you guys a season wrap-up video. Probably owed you a couple more, but you know, we did lose to the Green Bay Packers, who are Super Bowl bound. We lost by less than like 5 points or something. So, you know, really disappointing, but there's no shame. We got a couple of issues to address. I'm gonna get to that really quickly. And then, you know, I owe you guys a little bit of a response for the Minnesota Vikings game, the Dallas Cowboy game. I guess if you guys really want to get into that, I'll talk about that for a quick second. But yeah, so this will be my last video until we roll out the official format. So, you know, just bear with me. Now, really quickly, I left you guys off, and I want to talk about this really briefly with the Minnesota Vikings game. And what a disappointment this game was. They got this guy, Joe Webb. Joe Webb was a wide receiver in college. He's a converted quarterback. The week before, I just want to point this out. Joe Webb cost me $1,400, whatever my fantasy football first place pot was. I was going against my brother in the finals, and I was winning the Monday night game 104-70. And all he had was the Chicago Bear defense, who Joe Webb played the week before he played the Eagles. This guy turns the ball over 5 times, and the Bear defense literally puts up 45 points and crushes my fantasy first place championship attempt. And you know, there's no reason for this guy to come into Philadelphia and beat us at home. It's kind of sad, and it was a little ridiculous. It kind of reminded me the year before when we should have beat the Dallas Cowboys in the final week of the season to secure the number 2 seed. It's like deja vu all over again. You know, number 2 seed up for grabs. We can't win the big game, and alas, we have to play the Green Bay Packers in the opening round of the playoffs, which nobody wants to do. So, you know, it's real disappointing. And you know, the Dallas Cowboy game, we'll get into that in a second. That's, you know, was our second and third string players. But to lose the game with Michael Vick and Shady McCoy, you know, and Macklin and Deshaun, it's just really, really disappointing. And I you know, we got rid of Donovan McNabb so that, you know, because quote unquote he was the problem in these situations. And ultimately, at the end of the day, whether you want to look at the Viking game or the Green Bay Packer game, to me, it all comes down to Andy Reid again. What is Andy Reid doing wrong? Why can't he get this thing right? You know, and it's like, this is the type of guy, Andy Reid, he'll come out, right? Like, he'll hypothetically run the ball 1 week and lose a game. And he'll run it 65% of the time. And the Philadelphia media will start grilling this guy. Andy, why did you only run the ball 10 times? Andy, why did you only run the ball 12, 15 times? And everybody knows, I know, you know, I don't have any professional football experience. I have very limited official football experience. But I know enough that we need to run the ball more than 12 times against the Green Bay Packers in order to win the football game. You know, and it's not like we don't have a dynamic running back in the backfield. We got a guy who by all likelihood is every bit as good, if not better, than the guy he replaced in Brian Westbrook. And this guy just doesn't use him. And, you know, now we come to a point now where we're at the off season, and we have to wonder, is the Philadelphia Eagles going to take us down the same road that they've always taken us down? Literally, right now, we're right here for the Super Bowl. We're right here. All we got to do is get that little push, and I guarantee you we will be the best team in the NFC next year. I guarantee you. We need one true impact defensive player or a couple B+ players. And I got an idea on this. But the point I'm trying to make, and I'll get to my idea in a second. The point I'm trying to make is, if you look at last year, the Philadelphia Eagles go out there. They try to sign Julius Peppers, and they get outbid by the Chicago Bears by like 5 or 6 or 7 million. Now, supposedly, you know, the money didn't make a difference, and I don't know what the final result was that Julius Peppers. Bullshit. Bullshit. If you guys took the extra 5 or 10 million, whatever he wanted, and you gave him that money, this year we would have had Julius Peppers on one end and Trent Cole on the other end. But the Philadelphia Eagles, they have this line in the sand. They have this line in the sand, and it almost makes me wonder if, Jeffrey Lurie and Joe Banner and Andy Reid get together and they have this magical income line that they say, no, you cannot go past this line because we're still going to win 10 or 11 games this year. We're still likely going to win the division or the playoffs. Probably not going to win the Super Bowl because we're not good enough. And they're okay with that. And that's the thing that really bothers me that, and I'm not a Philadelphia Philly fan, but I live in Philadelphia. And the Philadelphia Phillies do everything for their fans that the Eagles do not. You had a window where the Philadelphia Eagles were the best team in football from 2000 to 2004, mainly due to the offensive weapons of Brian Westbrook and Donovan McNabb. If any of these 4 years, besides 04 when they did sign Terrell Owens and we saw the results, any one of these 4 years, we got any other kind of impact player to push us over the edge easily, would we have won a Super Bowl one of those 4 years. What kind of player am I talking about? I don't even have to mention the wide receiver position, how we went with Todd Pinkston and James Thrash for 3 years. How about the linebacker position? You got a team that goes to the NFC Championship 4 years in a row, and we don't have a bona fide linebacker in the lineup. We don't have a punt returner, a kick returner on the team for those 4 years. We don't have a fullback. We actually played without a fullback for a 2 or 3 year period. Now, the problem with Andy Reid and the problem with Eagle Brass is they significantly undervalue certain positions that boggles my mind. I never saw any Super Bowl winning team has a playmaker, a Clay Matthews, a Brackett, a Junior Seau, a Teddy Bruschi at linebacker. But yet, for some reason, the Philadelphia Eagles actually think that this doesn't apply to them. So and go back 2 years ago, or the record-setting season, maybe it was 3 years ago, when we attempted to sign Randy Moss, and we didn't get him. What was our backup plan? Jason Avant? What was our backup plan last year when we missed out on Julius Peppers? Darryl Tapp? I mean, are you guys serious? See, the problem is, they get these players in their radar. They know they want them. Asamoah. This is the guy I want to talk to you guys about. Asamoah. They know he's on the radar. He's right there. But when it comes down to it, I have a feeling that it's going to come down to the Eagles and the Jets. The Jets are going to make this much more of a push for Asamoah, and we're not going to get him. And not only are we not going to get him, then the Eagles are going to decide, we're good enough with what we have in Patterson and Ellis Hobbs. And it's like, they will do this. And just like they did it with Julius Peppers last year, we didn't get him. What was their response? Oh, you know what? We're good with what we have. Well, yeah, we're good with what we have. If you want to win 10, 11, 12 games for the next 10, 15 years, maybe we'll get lucky and backdoor our way into a Super Bowl and win one. But if we don't get these impact players to push us over the edge, we're going to be a 10-11, 10-6, 11-5 team forever. And my fear is that Jeffrey Lurie is okay with this because they're selling out. Their merchandise is off the charts. They're one of the most popular franchises in football, and they're making a shit ton of money. So who are they to spend the extra money if they don't really have to? You go, and really quickly, so the Dallas Cowboy game. The Dallas Cowboys are so atrociously bad. We lost the game on the last play with a bullshit, 65-yard play. But I will tell you guys something. If you guys have any thoughts about going even 8-8 next year, even winning the division, doing anything impactful at all, I would say take a long, hard look at your double chin in the mirror and think again, because your team sucks so bad I can't even put it into words how just awful and bad the Dallas Cowboys are. They're so bad and awful that I'm not even going to waste any more time on them. Like, they suck. Let's just move on. We don't talk about bottom feeders here on John Hamill's Archive. So, really quickly, the Packer game. I want to talk about this. You know, everybody wants to point the finger, the defense, you know, this guy, that guy, Andy Reid. First of all, the defense only let up 21 points. And I know they got run all over. I know they didn't look sharp, and they let a no-name scrub rookie running back, you know, kind of run all over them. But at the end of the day, they only let up 21 points. If you were to tell me the day before that you're going to let up 21 points, I would say Eagle victory. Now, Andy Reid is not to be absolved from this game by any stretch of the imagination. But my biggest problem is David Akers. Now, David Akers, to me, is on this team and being rewarded strictly because of loyalty. I understand how hard it is to find a kicker. And you ask me, well, if David Akers isn't going to be there next year, who's it going to be? Shit, I'll throw my name in the hat. I used to play goalie up until junior college. I really think I could kick further than David Akers. That's how fucking pathetic this guy is. And I'm dead serious. I'll put money that I could kick the ball further than David Akers. If my videos ever blow up and go viral, I will put any amount of money. Let's donate to charity. I'll have a kickoff with David Akers. You're talking about a guy now, by the way, 1 for 3 this year, 50-plus field goals, 2 for 5. Look at his numbers from 50-plus over the last 5 years. They're absolutely atrocious. So you're literally talking about a team now that's handicapped from the 50-yard line out because their kicker can't kick a 45-plus yard field goal. Is he money from 40 yards and under? Sure, I'm money from 40 yards and under. The guy went a year and a half in 2007 without kicking a 45-plus yard field goal. This is a bona fide professional NFL player, man. I heard about his daughter. Much sympathy goes out. If you're in a playoff game and you can't put those thoughts aside, which his wife already said that he had other things on his mind, and that's maybe what happened. Get this guy out of here, man. I am so sick and tired of seeing David Akers. I want somebody like Sebastian Janikowski, Mason Crosby, Jake Reed. Give me somebody with an iron leg. Put a 55-yard field goal through, no problem. Go look it up. I don't think David Akers has ever had a 55-yard field goal his entire life. So we make the 2 field goals. We actually win the football game. And, there's no shame here. We lost, unfortunately, we got stuck with the Packers. We lost to the Super Bowl bound Packers. Now, there's no shame, but if you want to point the finger at anybody during that game, not the defensive coordinator, not Andy Reid, even though Andy Reid did do some suspect plays, at the end of the day, your kicker's got to make those kicks, and I don't give a shit what was wrong with his daughter. Really quickly, Asamoah. Now, this guy, and I'm going to wrap this video up, led up 13 completions last year as a cornerback. He didn't have any interceptions, 13 completions. They only threw the ball to him 22, 23 times the whole entire season. In other words, if you get Asamoah on this team right now, they won't even throw the ball to that side of the field, and that's going to make them throw the ball 3 times more to Asante Samuel, who is an interception machine. Philadelphia Eagles, if you don't sign Asamoah, I'm going to be very, 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 very disappointed because we got Michael Vick, we got Shady McCoy, we got Deshaun Jackson, we got Brent Selleck, we got Jeremy Maclin. Beef up the offensive line. Now is the time. Now is the time. I don't want to hear any more sob stories about, we tried to get Julius Peppers, but we just couldn't. We tried to get Randy Moss, but we just couldn't. Oh, yeah, we went 13-1 with Terrell Owens in the regular season, lost the last 2 games. We went 13-1 with Terrell Owens, proving that we need a wide receiver, but we're just not going to sign one for 5 years. I don't want to hear any more bullshit, all right? You owe me, your fans, a lot more than that, because I'll tell you something. At the end of the day, when David Akers goes home with his millions of bucks, his hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he's off the team, I'm still an Eagle fan, all right? So when I'm reading the paper and I'm reading David Akers' wife quoting it saying, yeah, he had other things on his mind, that's not acceptable to me. I want a Super Bowl, and I want a goddamn Super Bowl now. This is John Hamill from the Archives, last edition, until we roll out the new era. And when you see the new era, there's no looking back. Stay tuned.